me say one more thing about that sneak attack, that in a war of this kind, in which there are no fixed lines, in which there are large territories that are lightly inhabited and that are essentially jungle and mountainous in character, I know no military man who believes that without an overwhelming assignment of local defense forces, it is possible to guarantee against this kind of sneak attack. This is the sort of thing, and all Americans in the area know it, with which we simply have to contend while we prosecute in company with the government and people of South Vietnam a contest against communism, which is of the highest importance to our national interest.
Tonight on NBC, the trial of the century commences from the comfort of your very own home. If you wish to participate in the public vote for the outcome, please put on your purchased H46 headset now. Remember to speak loudly and clearly in order to be heard by our hard-working adjudicators.
Yes, for the love of Christ.
Thank you for your service, and remember, every vote matters. Don't forget to tune in at 9/8 Central. This is one television event. Vote one of us.
Your trainee has arrived.
Send him in.
Mr. Armitage?
So I'm told. Come on in, Dale.
I'm not late, am I?
Not at all. You're just on time. What's your drink?
My drink?
Of the alcoholic variety. You're not sober, are you?
No, I just don't usually drink when working.
Well, this isn't the Apollo program, kid. Come on, live a little. I insist.
Well, if you insist.
Excellent.
Can I help you with that, or?
I'm good.
Oh, thank you.
You picked a hell of a day to start. I'm jealous my first case was some fucking parking dispute. Pardon my French.
We're not adjudicating the Stanley v. Dominique case, are we?
The one and thing. Smoke?
Oh, no, thank you.
You gotta learn to take a good thing when you're offered it, kid. Shut the door. Of course, I'll be doing the brunt of the work. Your job is just to sit there and learn. Speaking of, this ought to be good.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the accused. Please state your name and occupation for the broadcast.
Alice Dominique. I'm an actress.
Miss Dominique, you stand accused of attempted murder. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
So what drew you to this line of work?
I used to live 10048.
Shouldn't we listen to the...
The establishing questions. Nah, you picked up a paper in the last year, you know the details. Tell me about you.
Oh, well, I guess I want to make sure that everyone has their voice heard and that everyone gets a fair trial.
Please state your age and
Go
birth
on.
date for the camera.
I was born on the 5th of March, 1944. I'm nearly 20.
Well, when I was
Nearly 21.
very young, there was an incident in my family. I was just a boy, and
Thank you, Miss Dominique. Those
it was
are
before all of
the
this,
questions I need
and
to ask.
a man walked away from something he shouldn't have, and no one should have to go through that.
Fair enough.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, also help you in the eyes of the public?
I do.
Then let's begin. For those following along at home,
You may use your H46 headsets to register your opinion starting
Better if you listen in.
now.
are you okay, Miss Dominique?
Sorry, it's cold in here.
Lying bitch. Body language says it all.
Ooh, they do not like her.
She hasn't even started testifying yet.
People have opinions. It's inevitable with a trial like this. And if testimony was all that mattered, we'd be doing this on the radio.
So what else matters?
Facial expression, body language, general vibes, man. Everyone becomes an expert when they can see it on their TV.
Please recall to your Ciela Drive residence on the 23rd of March, 1964, after neighbors reported hearing an altercation, correct?
Yes.
And when they arrived, they discovered Mr. Stanley bleeding from a stab wound.
Yes.
And were you the person who stabbed him, Miss Dominique?
Yes, to defend myself.
That's not what Mr. Stanley has testified.
Is his word worth more than mine?
Your word is worth as much as the public decides it is.
My word is the truth.
Speak to the camera.
He is a drunk. A violent drunk. I had to defend myself. He would have killed me.
No remorse at all.
Adjudicator Armitage, Stanley v. Dominique, entry 1. Let the record show that the public reception toward the defendant is leaning negative in the opening minutes.
Should we take some sort of tally? Positive versus negative responses? Yeah, I have a notepad.
No need. This part doesn't need to be precise. You just take the temperature. And why do we do that?
To make sure that the actual public response matches the votes.
Correct. Done your homework. That's good.
I've studied every article I can find on the topic, Mr. Armitage.
Mr. Armitage was my father. If we're gonna be colleagues, call me Henry.
I'd like that very much, Henry. Cheers.
Cheers.
The first time was November that year. He came home drunk from a rap party in the hills, and we got into an argument, and he hit me.
Would you say that you provoked him?
No.
But it was you who started the argument, was it not? That's what Mr. Stanley has testified.
I was asking him to stop drinking.
And you must have known of Mr. Stanley's temper prior to entering into a relationship with him.
This isn't my fault.
And yet you were the one on trial, Miss Dominique. It is your innocence, not your ex-husband's guilt, that must be proven today.
I have Polaroids from almost every incident.
Yes, and they've all been circulated into the media accordingly. But as many have pointed out, bruises and cuts can be faked, especially by someone of your means, not to mention background in makeup promotion.
This is bullshit. The evidence is right in front of you. Everyone can see why I did what I did.
I'd like to apologize to any families watching along for the inappropriate language. There's no need to get aggressive towards me, Miss Dominique. I'm not the one you have to convince.
Swearing on the stand never goes well.
What a heartless cunt.
I don't see what that has to do with her innocence.
The public can judge based on whatever criteria they want.
What if that's the wrong criteria?
They're deciding who they have to live alongside in society. I think they can get to pick the criteria. You've studied this, you know it.
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
You can speak freely, kid. I don't give a shit. All I'm saying is this is how it is.
I just didn't think we'd be like this.
Think of all the bastards that we've put away with this system. All the people who would have gotten away with it 10 years ago because of lack of evidence. Think of the guy from when you were a kid. Who was he?
My father? He killed my mother.
He lost a part. That's what caused the bruises in the second vertebrae.
You want my advice?
Yeah.
This is a job. The people vote. One way or the other. We tally them up. We see that the results match the responses we were hearing on the radio, and we move on to the next case. That should be the sum total of your exposure.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of guys like you that get attached to what they're seeing up there on that screen, and I'm telling you, don't. It has nothing to do with you.
Well, no, I don't know.
Listen, tally, report, move on. At the end of the day, you go home to your wife and you tell her you had a productive day at the office and you leave your work at the door. Trust me.
I don't have a wife.
Neither do I.
I understand what you're saying.
Good. Come on, let's watch the trial.
It became every other night. He threatened to kill me.
Who
if I
fucking
told
who?
him.
Go back to your marriage.
Joked about
Horse
it.
shit. Oh, yeah.
Became a
Jack
Do you have a closing statement prepared, Miss Dominique?
No, but I want to speak.
Then proceed.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have hurt anyone. It's not the kind of person I am. And it's not the kind of example I want to make with my influence. All I feel is remorse. If my ex-husband is watching this, Norman, Norman, fuck you. I shouldn't have to apologize for the consequences of your actions. I hope you burn in hell for what you did to me. And anything I did to protect myself. I'm innocent, and you're guilty.
Wow. She's clinched it, for sure. I mean, it's like you were saying. You would have gotten away 10 years ago.
Have you finished with your statement, Miss Dominique?
Yes.
Very well.
There you have it, ladies and gents. You've heard the testimony. Now it's time for you to vote on the outcome of today's trial using the buttons on your headset. You've got 30 seconds. Choose wisely.
I remember when trials used to take weeks. Now look at us. We started at 6, all wrapped up before dinner time. Now I bet no teenager would be protesting this system if they were old enough to have seen how things used to be.
It's incredible.
It has its moments.
The voting period is over. Your decision has been sent to our adjudicators for checking.
Fetch that, would you? What's the verdict?
I think we already...
What is it?
Guilty. It says guilty.
What's the margin like?
Large. Wait, what are you doing?
Reporting the result.
but we can't do that. She was innocent. I mean, you know she was innocent.
It's my job.
But the evidence clearly...
We're
there's...
adjudicators, not lawyers, not judges, not detectives. You remember what I said before.
Don't get attached.
Was the result out of line with what we were hearing on the radio?
No.
Then the verdict stands. Excuse me. I'm gonna go and get some fresh air and a cup of coffee before the next case. You want anything? Buy you a coffee.
Ma'am.
Did you hear?
Wherever 66